welcome. Welcome. I am so grateful to be here with you today. My name is Genevive, and we'll be practicing some yoga. I'm delighted that you've tuned in to join us. Hopefully you've got some comfy clothes on, maybe a nice squishy carpet or a yoga mat to work with. And so I thought I'd just begin with saying a few words about yoga and the role that yoga has had in my life. So yoga, it simply means union. So it's unifying mind, body, spirit, universal consciousness. And yoga is profound for letting all the untruths fall away, to let us be who and what we truly are. So yoga is always available for us, and I am just so grateful that it found me when it did. So, and also I want to share some gratitude here at the start for Reiki Rod for making this whole thing possible, for my amazing daughter and all her unwavering support and her encouragement to finish everything from the doctorate to everything that you've inspired. I'd also like to thank my teachers, Suzanne, who opened Journeys in Yoga in Tallahassee those many years ago, and Saraswati Devi, who would journey up from Tampa every month to teach yoga teacher training school, and the many, many, many teachers who I've had, especially Brenda Pantingo, and just so much love for all the teachers and all the students that I've been blessed to have up to this point. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's begin our practice. So, as you simply come to stand at the top of your mat, if it's comfortable for you to bring those big toes to touch, you can. And then let's go ahead, let's lift all 10 toes. Beautiful. Spread them wide, place them down. Feel that spaciousness. So you have just given yourself a broader, wider, sturdier foundation of support, noticing the way the earth is there to support you, and really beginning to sense the way that the foot makes contact with the earth. So here you are standing in mountain pose, tucking that tailbone under ever so slightly, drawing that belly button back just a little bit as you relax the shoulders. Beautiful. And then if it feels okay to close your eyes, we can go ahead. We can gently soften those eyelids and invite your awareness right to the very tip of your nose. So as you begin to sense and notice that cool, dry texture of the inhalation, listen out for the breath and notice that exhalation. Notice the way in which the exhalation feels different than the inhalation. What do you notice? So that is your own unique energetic contribution, noticing the moisture, the warmth of the exhalation. And as you simply deepen your connection to the breath, feel the way it fills and supports the lungs, oxygenating the whole body. And listen out for the breath. Allow the sound of the breath to soothe the parasympathetic nervous system. Maybe even noticing the way in which the sound of the breath sounds like the ocean. And maybe even feeling that gentle swirling in the back of the throat, your Ujjayi, victorious breath. So bringing your awareness into the tailbone and reaching all the way through the crown of the head, lengthening through the spine. Draw your chin back in space ever so slightly. Feel how that lengthens the back of the neck And notice how you've created that optimal passageway for the breath. Now, if there's an intention or a dedication that you wish to set for your practice, you may do so now. Good. Fluttering eyes open, wiggling fingers. Let's inhale, arms overhead. And let's exhale, swan diving forward, strong flat back. Beautiful. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, we're coming into tabletop, so we're just going to bring those knees right to the mat. And if your mat is a little thin, know that you can just double it up, give those knees the cushion they need. And so spaciousness between the fingers, beautiful. So as you inhale into your cow, exhale, roll through the spine. Staying with the breath. So no need to synchronize or match my movement. Allow your own breath to carry the body through its practice. Beautiful. So we'll find a few more rounds of our cats and our cows, listening out for the sound of the breath and beginning to learn how to trust the body, how to trust the body's wisdom. So allow the body to direct the movement. And notice that your cat-cow, it might evolve, it might change. And so just see where in this moment, in this day, the body takes its cat-cow. So some days those shoulders might wish to swirl and swivel in a figure eight. Oftentimes, I do find my cat-cow becomes a puppy dog, and I find I'm looking back at my puppy tail over one shoulder and the other opening up the side body. Now maybe your cat-cow has turned into a child's pose, floating through to an up dog or something different. Good. So just knowing the more that we listen to and honor the body's wisdom on the mat, the easier it becomes to do so when we are off of the mat. Good. Now let's find some stillness here in our downward facing, we're not in downward facing dog yet. Good, in our tabletop. And let's inhale the right hand up, so reach for the sky, open the heart. Beautiful. Exhale, thread the eye of the needle. We're just going to glide right through. And as you gently come to rest on the side of the head, the back of the shoulder, make any little adjustments that the body is asking you to. And deepen your connection to the breath. And then bring your awareness to the back of the ribs. And from this vantage point on the back of the chest, tune in and notice the ebb and the flow, the rise and the fall of the breath, even from the back of the ribs. Now, as you feel ready, and not before, in your own time, we're just going to bring that palm back up. We're going to find a little heart opener here at the top. And we'll come to change sides, so let's go back to the center. Beautiful. Let's inhale on up. Exhale, we'll thread the eye of the needle. Now, do remember, in yoga, in life, you are never ever committed to stay frozen where you land. It is always your prerogative to adjust, to modify, to let go or come out completely. Remembering that your body is the expert. And my words are offerings. Deepening the connection to the breath. Now, in your own time, we'll be reaching that palm back up for the sky. A little heart opener here at the top. And as we bring the hand to land, find that space in between the fingers. tuck the toes, and then as you're ready, we're gonna press the hips towards the sky. So here we go, we're going into our downward facing dog. And feel free to hold your down dog still and steady, or if you like a little movement, you can wake up the backs of the legs. You can just pedal out the feet, bending one knee and the other. Maybe gently shaking the head, yes and no, and then returning to stillness. So find your Hasta Bandha. So as you press into the webbing in between the index and the thumbs, feel the way the palm lifts and rises away from the mat. That's your hand lock. And it's very useful in handstand, down dog, other postures. So just acquainting yourself with your Hasta Bandha. Now in downward facing dog, as you keep forehead and jaw relaxed, let those sits bones Hasta Bandha. Now in downward facing dog, as you keep forehead and jaw relaxed, let those sits bones reach a little taller for the sky. Encourage the heels to melt towards the earth. Feel that rich sensation of openness for the back of the legs. And then we'll inhale the right heel on up. So let that next inhalation take the right heel towards the sky. This is your three-legged dog. Now we're beginning with our hips square and level to the mat. So keep the toes of the right foot facing the mat. And then let's open it up. Let's swoosh that right heel on up over the left hip. And as you look long up under the left arm, you might catch a glimpse of the right toes. Let any intuitive movement arise. So if you wish to circle out that knee, breathing into the hip. And you may find when you arrive here that your weight tends to dump into that left hand. See if you can even out your weight, evenly distribute it through both hands while you're here. Now, returning to three-legged dog, reach that right foot long. Find a round of breath. Now with your next exhalation, we'll be swooshing that foot forward between the hands. We're going to take that back foot to a 45-degree angle. And once you feel stable and steady, we'll inhale it on up into beautiful, into our downward facing dog. Wake up that back foot. Bring your awareness to the outer blade of the back foot and press and root. Feel the way that powers up the back leg. Relax those shoulders. Beautiful. Now exhale, frame that front foot. Let's step right back to downward dog. Feel free to walk the dog. Check out what the hands are doing. You don't need to look. You can leave your neck neutral in line with the rest of the spine, but let your awareness be with the hands. Again, press into the webbing in between the index and the thumb. Again, discovering Hasta Bandha. Inhale the left heel up, three-legged dog. Listening out for the breath. And then you can open it up. We'll just swoosh that heel up over the right hip. Gaze up under the right arm. Maybe catch a glimpse of the left foot. Feel free to hold still, or if movement is calling you, you follow that intuitive guide. And then rediscovering three-legged dog. Exhale, swoosh that foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Always giving yourself all the time you need. Exhale, swoosh that foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Always giving yourself all the time you need to find that. If you get to warrior one and you have a full melting shoulders away from the ears. With that next exhalation, let's return the palms to the earth, stepping into your downward facing dog. Eventually, downward dog becomes a restorative pose, a pose of rest. Could have fooled me when I was new to yoga. Downward dog felt like a lot of effort. But practice, 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 all is coming, as Saraswati Devi always used to teach. Let's melt into child's pose. Welcome your knees to the mat. Let them go wide. Bring those big toes a little closer to one another. Let the weight of the hips melt back atop the heels as you allow the forehead to meet the earth. Gently rock it left and right, right and left. And send a calming, soothing signal to the parasympathetic nervous system. So we're utilizing the acupressure point just between the brows, letting the body know all is well. With the essence of child's, we'll take it one side and the other, and we'll wiggle the fingers out towards the right. Now here you've got your fingertips working on your behalf. They are small and mighty. They're gripping the earth. Maybe you're using palms more than fingertips. So palms or fingertips. Find that traction. And as you do, discover the richness that's going to go from the pinky all the way down through to the hip, allowing the fascia to open. Maybe recalling or repeating that intention or dedication. I will come back on through to the center, and then in your own pace, at your own time, taking it out the other way, steering clear of autopilot, staying present with the body in the now, not needing to repeat what you did on the opposite side. Range of motion may be a little, maybe a lot different. That is okay. Now, as you do melt back on through to the center, let's find a melting heart. So bring those knees back under the hips. Good. And we're going to walk the hands. And then some of us may rest with the chin. Some of us may rest with the forehead. And then use those fingertips. Walk those arms forward. Elbows hovering, floating away from the earth. And as you feel your way into the melting heart, it might even feel like the armpits could lift through the tops of the shoulders. Don't feel that in our regular routine, everyday movements. So get that stretch. Remembering your body is the expert. Remembering everything is an offering. It is optional. You never have to lead the body anywhere that it would veto. Let the body's wisdom come to the forefront. Now release the elbows on down and shift the chest forward between the elbows. We're coming into dolphin, so tuck those toes, and then as you reach on up, so this is like your downward dog, but we're using forearms instead of palms. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. If the legs agree, you can wiggle the toes a little closer to the elbows. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Good. And then let's come to downward dog. So if it's okay for the wrists, we'll go right into down dog. You can come through tabletop on your way to down dog if you don't want to go from dolphin. Listening out to the sound of the breath. Inhale the right heel towards the sky. Three-legged dog. And stay another round of breath. And then exhale, invite the foot to land between the hands. Turn your back foot to a 90-degree angle with the back edge of the mat. Beautiful. Finding warrior two. Now in warrior two, from the hips down, rooting through to the earth. And then from the torso up, reaching, extending towards the sky. Beautiful. And let that back arm graze down the back leg. Open up the right side body. As you exhale to release this arm atop that front leg, bring this upper arm in line with the ear. So let the palm face the mat. Take the heart and reach the heart towards the sky. So here you have the bottom ribs rolling up, the top ribs rolling behind. Inhale back on up, find that warrior two. Let's go for a triangle. So let's straighten out this leg. Now, I like to shorten this stance of triangle just a wee little bit, wiggle that back foot in the tiniest bit. And then imagine that you're a teapot pouring out that tea. Good. Come into your triangle. So triangle is not so much about how far down you can go. It's about letting those shoulders be in line with one another. Now, if the neck agrees, you're welcome to look up at that top thumb. Line that thumbnail up right in between your eyebrows. Good. Inhale on up. Bend through that front knee. Find your warrior two. And we're going to frame that front foot. So let's step it back. Full flow. So from your high plank, come through your chaturanga. Inhale into your up dog. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Let's find a round of breath or two in our downward facing dog. Inhale that left heel towards the sky. Here's your three-legged dog. Good. Pressing, rooting through the knuckles of the hand. And an exhale, we'll welcome this foot forward. It's okay to pick it up and help it there if it doesn't go all by itself right from the start. Practice, practice, practice. All is coming. And finding your warrior two. So from the hips down, we're rooting, grounding. From the torso up, we're extending for the sky. Back arm glides down the back leg. Enjoying that stretch for the left side body. And then let's get a stretch for the right side body. So here we are, extended side angle. Inhaling back into warrior two. And then we'll straighten this front leg. And maybe you scooch that back foot in just the tiniest bit. Now in triangle, this front hip is coming back in and up. As you reach, 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 and you reach more than you knew you could. And you keep reaching, and when you can't reach anymore, you fold into triangle. Now if the neck is not happy to look up, look down at that big toe. Otherwise, center that thumbnail in between the brows. Inhale back on up. Beautiful warrior two. And then we'll frame that front foot. So an exhale carries you down. Your inhale is your upward dog. Exhale for downward dog. Listening out for your yogic breath. Finding that ujjayi breath. Here, having yogi's choice, walking, stepping, hopping, however you choose, will come to meet at the top of the mat for a little half lift. And as you exhale to fold forward, inhale all the way on up. Exhale, palms through to the heart. Close the eyes. Notice the heat between the palms. Noticing that internal fire that the practice cultivates. all that vitality. We'll inhale, arms on up. Good. Exhale your right arm under your left. So crisscross at the elbows. And then maybe join the shoulders. Softness for the knees. Right foot holds the weight, and that left leg can come on up and over. Now those toes are welcome to grip the floor, or if you have a yoga block handy, you can have it there. Maybe the toes tuck behind that standing leg. No worries about coming in and out of your eagle. So for whatever reason, standing balance, sometimes that inner critic wants to turn up the volume. If that happens, just bring your awareness back to the breath. So turning that volume back down on that inner critic. We'll inhale on up. Exhale the left elbow under the right. Crisscross. Softness for the knees. The right foot holds the weight. That left leg becomes free to come on up and over. And noticing the breath rushing past the fingers. Beautiful. Really, really good. And inhale it on up. Exhale, palms through to the heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Let the heart lead the way. Inhale for a half lift. Bring it to hip width distance. So take 2 fists between the big toes. Measure out hip width distance. Peace fingers to those big toes. So as you allow the elbows to draw away from one another, press the hips towards the sky. Invite the crown of the head to reach for the earth. Continue allowing the elbows to draw away from one another. Find that lengthening across the back of the legs. The crown reaching for the earth. And then we'll find our way to a half lift. So when you're ready, no rush. An inhale, you can place palms to shin, 90-degree angle. Good. We're going to come back in for gorilla. So if it feels okay, you can slide your hands under the soles of the feet. And you just let the knees do what they need to do. So you let them bend as much or as little as they're asking. Eventually we come to press the sits bones to the sky. And if your toes do reach the creases of the wrist, wiggle the toes, massage the wrist while you're here. Become aware of patterns, habits in the body. If there's any clenching, stress, or tension, scout it out. Notice where it tries to hide away. Send your inhalation to that location. Allow the exhale to escort it out of the body. It can be an audible exhalation. You can sigh it out. And then ever so carefully we'll release. We'll let this go. So peel one hand, just one hand at a time, out from under. And then with a great big bend in the knees, bend those knees. Let the chest rest atop the thighs. Hug your chin in towards your chest. As you press the earth away through the soles of the feet, allow one vertebra to stack atop the next. Good. So we're just going to roll our way up. Let your head be the very last to release. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, palms through to the heart. Beautiful. Finding our tree, our standing tree. So the left foot will be holding the body's weight. Let's give ourselves the broadest, sturdiest foundation. Let's lift those toes, those 5 toes, spread them wide. Place them back down. See if you can maintain that space between the toes. Now for tree, the arch can cup the ankle. You can be with the shin. You can be above the knee if you'd like to be with the thigh, if you'd like to find your half lotus. And so wherever you are, just choosing above or below the knee. Never any lateral pressure on the knee itself. Just choosing above or below the knee. Never any lateral pressure on the knee itself. As we've grown our roots, now let the branches begin to emerge here. So just let those branches grow. And maybe we take the shoulder blades and draw them towards the center line. Beautiful, opening the heart. And then let the hands come to rest atop the hips. Bring that knee back in, and then we'll lift. So you can do this with just the knee, or you can extend the leg. And grab that boarding pass because we're going to airplane. Find your way through to your airplane. From airplane, let's swing it back forward into a standing figure 4. Finding that drishti, that still point. Allowing your line of sight to rest upon something that is unwavering, unmoving. Good. And then let go of the standing figure 4. Take the warmth that's in the hands. Gently, lightly rest the hands atop the knees. And begin to swivel, circle, and stir those knees. Allow the synovial fluid to protect the joints. Really got it. Let's take it the other way. And then we'll simply find tree on the other side. So give yourself the broadest, sturdiest foundation. We're going to counterbalance our modern shoes. We're going to put our foot back in its natural state. And then let that root system establish itself anywhere above or below the knee. Let the branches grow. Let that root system establish itself anywhere above or below the knee. Let the branches grow. Let the branches grow. If ever you want to challenge your balance in your tree, you can close your eyes. And with the hands making their way to the hips, we'll lift that leg. Beautiful. And we'll make our way onto the airplane. And then from airplane, let's find a standing figure 4. And just allowing that kindness to be there with you. Not taking the self too seriously in our standing balance poses. Maybe even finding a little humor in the practice. Good. Let that go. Bring your feet to a distance that they naturally select. Let the arms practice. Good. Let that go. Bring your feet to a distance that they naturally select. Let the arms be with gravity. And then from the hips, just kind of swing. Good. You can even activate the chi a little bit. You can get a kidney massage here. If you get enough momentum, the hands will find their way to each kidney. Good. And we'll slow it down. Now, as you invite the feet back together so those big toes can meet, we'll inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan diving forward. Inhaling for that half lift. Exhale, step your way back. Let's go right to downward facing dog. We'll be with downward dog a few rounds of breath. And then inhale the right heel up towards the sky. Find three-legged dog. Now, where we're going to be going is our pigeon. So as you exhale, bring the knee with you, shift forward like you're going into plank, and then release that shin. Now, as we find our way into pigeon, if pigeon is new to us, this sits bones might be way in the air, and so a yoga block or another prop can be really nice to have there. Now, if we're doing okay, we can start to melt it forward. You can release, finding your way into the posture. Again, increasing your awareness regarding patterns, habits within the body. So from the crown of the head through the soles of the feet, allow your awareness to flow. Become aware of those sneaky places that have tried to stay off the radar, that have tried to tuck that stress, that tension away. Breathe into those spaces. The body has permission to let all that go, so sigh it out with your exhalation. Find the space between the shoulder blades and soften. An inhalation will invite the upper body back on up. Come up nice and slow. Press the earth away. Another heart opener here. Good. Return the hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Send that leg on up. Three-legged dog. Now, if you want to get a little movement here, follow that intuitive guidance system. From our downward facing dog, we'll inhale the left heel up. Exhale, preparing for pigeon. And make those little micro adjustments the body asks for. So as you find your way into pigeon, remember you are never committed to stay frozen where you land. It is always your prerogative to adjust on the mat and in life. Imagining you could breathe into the left hip as you welcome in all the vital, fresh new prana. The exhale gives permission for the body to let go of anything it's ready to release. Let's be here another round of breath. And in your own time, an inhalation can lift you back on up. We're going to tuck those toes. Find your way, three-legged dog. Finding any intuitive movement here. Downward facing dog. Release the knees to the mat. Let's ease for child's pose. So knees nice and wide. Weight shifts back atop the heels. Release the forehead to the mat. Gently rock. Left and right, right and left. Inhale, lift that upper body on up. We're going to swing the legs out and around. We're finding our way to a seat. We'll come into Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet to meet. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, fold on in. If forward folding generates contemplation, simply invite your awareness right back to the breath, knowing that thoughts are like clouds. They may float into our line of sight, but there's no need to draw them near or push them away. They'll float away all on their own. Got it. Let's inhale the upper body back on up. Send your left leg out. Bring that right foot on up and over. Hug the elbow around the knee. Bring your hand behind the sacrum. Press into the earth. Now as we inhale from the tailbone through the crown of the head, lengthen. And then with that exhalation, allow the body to deepen into the twist. Go ahead and melt right back through to the center. Change sides. So as you're ready, just switch it right on out. First, we'll gather up that length. The exhale invites you into the twist. Do lead your twist from the trunk, from the torso. Let the drishti polish it off. So we'll be careful with the neck. We won't lead with our line of sight into our twist. We're going to let that go, and we can find let that go, and we can find let that go, and we can find a reverse table or a reverse plank. So hands just behind outside the hip. Inhale, pressing the feet into the earth. Allow the head to dip and melt between the shoulders. When you're ready to bring the sits bones back to the mat, we'll crisscross the ankles, we'll roll over the knees. We're going to step our way into our plank pose. So roll over the knees. We're going to step our way into our plank pose. So from here, just allow that right foot to step out beyond the left. Press it. From here, just allow that right foot to step out beyond the left. Press into akin to a downward dog. We won't be here very long. We're going to find that on the other side. Good. Bring the left knee to the earth. Now glide that right foot out. Look beyond the left shoulder. And then imagine a baseball glove waiting there to catch the sole of the foot, to catch the heel. Press through the foot. Find that activation of the leg. Bring it back through to the center. We're going to change sides. Now, clearly, the left side body is a little more open than the right, but instead of scrunching on the shorter side, can you find spaciousness there as well? Come on back through to the center. We'll come to stand atop the knees. Hands can be with the back of the hips. We can tuck those toes. So I'll show camel going one side at a time. If full camel is in your practice, if you'd like to go right there, please do. So I'm going to reach for the left heel. Inhale the right arm up. And then, as best we can, we keep the hips stacked atop the knees. So rather than letting the glutes sway way back over the calves, See if you can keep those hips shining forward like the headlights of a car. And we're going to change sides. Camel is in many ways about trust. One of our earliest sensations when we come into these bodies is hopefully being supported by a grown person, and as babies we don't like to be taken backwards. But if we've got the support, we can go there. So finding your way into trust through camel. We're going to bring it back on up, and then we're going to come to a seat. So bring the sits bones back on down. We're going to bring it all the way to the earth. So as we inhale, arms overhead, run down nice and slow. You can hug your navel towards the spine. If you've got a wall behind you, you might need to scoot a little further away. And reach through the fingertips. Reach through the toes. Spaciousness for the whole body. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, hug the knees on in. Arms wrap around shins. Very gentle massage of the back. So find a little rocking motion. Now, bring the back of the head to release back to the earth. Let the knees come to float atop the hips. Let's bring those big toes to touch. Knees are held by the hands. Allow the hands to start to circle the knees away from one another. And deepen your connection to the breath. Check in with the forehead and the jaw and the whole body. And allow those circles to start to flow the other way. And then as you find your way into the stillness of an upside down table, knees right over the hips, shins parallel above the floor, let your hands go, let them release wherever they land. And then draw the knees together, squeeze those knees together as if they were just one big mighty knee. Begin to circle the knees atop the hips. And you may notice that gentle massage you're finding all the way around the sacrum, taking care of the low back. And we're just going to take those circles the other way. Good. Now return to that upside down table. Let the knees be right over the hips. Reach the arms out like wings. Open those arms. As you turn to look to the left, you can let the eyes close. You don't need to leave them open. It's just a cue to help you get the head pointing towards the left. Ease the knees to the right. And then trust the body. So know there's no particular look, no particular shape that you're trying to establish here. What you're doing is you're following the body's guidance and its wisdom. If we allow the mind to remain in the back seat, the body will show us where the benefits are to be found. So another way to say that is if there's any discomfort, even the remotest discomfort while you're here, it just means the mind is still grasping to order the body. Any discomfort, even the remotest discomfort while you're here, it just means the mind is still grasping to order the body about. So release that, let that go. Allow the body to show you where it's going to soak up the benefits of your recline twist. Enjoying the depth of the breath in this twist. Giving those organs a little hug, a little squeeze, giving them permission to release anything they're ready to let go of. Inhale, bring the knees back on up. Turn to look out over the right. Let the knees melt to the left. So this is restorative, so there's not effort, so the knees aren't hanging up here in space. You're going to release them. And that may mean that the legs unbend a lot, maybe even all the way. So you just let those knees unbend as much as they choose. Find the fullness of the twist. So your gaze goes to the right as the knees release to the left. Staying with the depth of the breath. As you do return through to the center, release the soles of the feet to the mat. Bring your hands alongside the hips. Press the palms into the earth. Lift all 10 toes. Bring them back down with even more space between them. And as you inhale to press the earth away through the soles of the feet, find your way to your bridge. Beginning to enjoy that Ujjayi victorious breath that naturally arises as you find your throat lock through your bridge. Careful not to look left or right. Keep that line, that neck in line here in your bridge and in your shoulder stand, always wanting to be very careful. Reaching the hips for the sky. And then follow your body's guidance. So no need to stay longer than the body wishes. So we don't come out just when the mind starts to whine or complain to have us let go. But when the body is ready, bring it on down. Let the sacrum meet the mat. Finding some windshield wipers. Windshield wipers brought to us by a woman who could not obtain a patent at the time, but here we go. Little history lesson. Find your Supta Baddha Konasana, your recline bound angle. Bring the soles of the feet to meet. This might be a lot of sensation for the hips, so maybe the hands like little wedges of support. You might shimmy the hands under the glutes to provide that support, just to take the edge off. If for any reason the hands there feel like an obstruction, you can instead let the weight of the hands rest atop the thighs to provide a little encouragement for the opening of the hips. So finding a body scan from the crown of the head through the soles of the feet, allowing your awareness to flow through the whole body. Carefully and gently release that left leg out long as you hug and draw the right knee towards the heart. So you can interlace fingers along that right shin. Relax the right knee towards the heart. So you can interlace fingers along that right shin. Relax the shoulders. Let that left foot flop. Bring more yin through that left foot. And then guide the right knee out towards the right shoulder. Hug it alongside the body. And then guide the right knee out towards the right shoulder. Hug it alongside the body. Bring that right foot back in. Place the right foot atop the left thigh. Easing into that gentle reclined twist. Another variation here. We'll bring it back on through. Hug the right knee towards the heart. And then release the leg long. Send it down the mat. Hug that left knee on in. Right to the center line. Those biceps are working on behalf of the lower body and the torso. Yoga is so amazing for nurturing the entire body, the connective tissues, the muscles, And right now we're taking care of the digestive system. So here we are taking care of the descending portion. Glide that knee out towards the left shoulder. Give it a great big hug. And then place that foot atop the right thigh. Ease in for a twist. Remembering your body knows best. If ever it tells you not to go into a particular posture, you honor that. Come on back through. Hug the knee in. Send it out long. So we'll be finding in inversion, we'll be coming into waterfall or legs up the wall. So if you're near a wall, you can bring the hip right to the floorboard and slide the legs up, or you can be here in waterfall. Now, if you happen to have a block with you, just like when you were in your bridge, you could bring those feet down just to shimmy the block under the sacrum. Sometimes it could be nice to elevate the hips just a little bit in your waterfall. And only you know when you've found all the benefits there are to be found in any posture, in any pose. So knowing you never need to keep the body there any longer than it needs. Knowing you're welcome to release and come out at any time. From our waterfall, we'll be diving right into happy baby. So maybe the peace fingers find those big toes. Maybe the hands hold the outer edges of the feet. Now, if your sacrum is just flying up above the mat, hovering in space, let the sacrum have the benefit of the earth. Maybe you change to hug the back of the thighs. And wherever those hands are, we're just going to be here with our happy baby. And we'll be finding our way through to our yogi self-led portion of the practice. So often in our busy lives, we ignore, don't listen to all the information the body is providing. Right now, do let the body know that you're listening. Follow through on what it's requesting. Know you've got time to find any twist, stretch, posture, or pose. We will soon be on our way towards Shavasana, that final resting pose. Just letting the body move you through that self-guided movement. I'll be coming to a seat to guide us through Shavasana. So you stay with the mat. You don't need to come up. Now, if socks or long sleeves would help you to experience comfort and support your Shavasana, you can gather them or a blanket. Now, traditionally in Shavasana, and I'll demo this, in our corpse pose, those feet and hands are a comfortable distance apart as we rest the back with the mat. And this pose is not always the most accessible or the most comforting, so know that you're welcome to rest in sideline. You could be in child's pose, you could be resting on the belly. So you're going to allow your body to just reach out and relax in the posture that supports it optimally in this moment. And as we prepare ourselves to receive Shavasana, do invite your awareness in through the crown of the head and relax the forehead. Allow the muscles of the eyes to soften and release. And it may even feel as if the cheekbones are growing lighter as the jaw lets go. Let go of the shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Let go of the chest and hips, legs, feet, and toes. Allowing yourself this time, knowing I'll momentarily be calling you back. And in the meantime, enjoying your Shavasana. Inviting your awareness and gently return to the body. And gently return to the body. Inviting sensation to enter through fingers. Inviting sensation to enter through toes. Gently and kindly preparing to wake up the body so that in your own time and not before, only as you're ready, an inhalation, invite arms tall overhead. An exhalation can draw knees in towards chest as arms wrap around shins, hugging, thanking, acknowledging the body for all it makes possible, day in and day out. And then left or right, right or left, whichever side is calling you, gently find your way through towards the fetal position, allowing yourself a few final moments of rest, of relaxation, allowing a sense of peace, calm wellness to be with you, knowing this peace, calm wellness is available at any moment throughout the day. As the body feels ready and not before, in your own time, ever so gently guiding your way through towards the seat. From here, we'll inhale arms overhead and exhale palms through to the heart center. Thank you for sharing your beautiful practice with me. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be here for you 11 Thursdays Pacific time, well, really Arizona time on Thursdays. Now, Arizona time is Arizona time, so some of the time it's Mountain time, some of the time it's Pacific time. But so grateful to you for tuning in. And please check out the many offerings of the Reiki Academy. We have a lot going on for you. We'd love to meet you and connect. You can also find me if you're interested in more yoga. You can also find me at Garage Call Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. You can find me on my Facebook page there.